Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute. We're glad you've joined us. We're taking a look at the hymns we'll be using in worship tomorrow for the second Sunday in Lent. And we're going to start with the God of Abraham Praise. That's our gathering hymn. And this is somewhat controversial hymn. It was described in the early days as such, and I quote, "A stately pile of architecture, severe and simple in design, which after deliberate examination becomes more graceful. Its dimensions expand and the mind grows itself in contemplating it." So there you have it. It is a Jewish hymn of praise that was in 13 parts. And it morphed over the years into a more modern day metrical version of the hymn that we would know. And it was translated into a Christian paraphrase. Its author was born in Spain. And in 1148, his family actually left Cordoba and they were escaping Muslim religious persecution in that day and age. This is the God of Abraham Praise. Maybe that's a little less stately than you're used to in the hymn, but just beautiful. All right, we'll move on to our hymn of the day, "In the Cross of Christ I Glory." And this is built on a text from the book of Galatians. And it was, interesting enough, written by a Unitarian, and it focuses on the cross. But it has widespread use among Trinitarian Christians. So that's kind of interesting. Its author was a linguist who was able to read 200 languages and to speak 100 languages. Can you imagine? And he also had translations from more than 20 languages. So this will be in English. "In the Cross of Christ I Glory." Moving on to communion. That will be come to the water of life. And this was the most contemporary of the ones we're doing today, written in 1995. It was written for a baptismal remembrance ritual at the community of St. Martin in Minneapolis. And this song reminds us the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well. In John's Gospel, Jesus says to his soon-to-be disciple, quote, "The water that I will give will become in them a spring of water gushing up to eternal life." So from our many thirsts, we are invited to the living water that nurtures us all in all of our life. Come to the waters of life. So a fun one, you might remember that. We've sung it a couple of other times. It comes from All Creation Sing. And for our sending hymn, Jesus Still Leads On. And this is actually a composite of two completely separate hymns. And you'll be glad to know that there were a combined total of 26 stanzas in that composite of two hymns put together. It's been edited severely. So this was edited by a Moravian editor in the early 1700s, and it's a focus on obedience and trust in God. So Jesus Still Lead On. So there are our hymns for tomorrow, the second Sunday in Lent. Thanks so much for coming together with me this evening and learning a little bit about these hymns. We'll look forward to seeing them in worship tomorrow. That's in person here at 8:30 and 11 o'clock. And as always, our 11 o'clock service will be live streamed on our YouTube channel. Thanks again. We'll talk again next week.